So this month we're starting a new series of talks, and they are all about your abundant life and what that means and how we get there. And I'll give you some truth in advertising right up front that this series of talks is really based on a spiritual approach to abundance. It's really more a spiritual approach to living a life without care, without lack, and without fear. In order to get there, it's about how we get our minds straight with God. So this whole series is being kind of centered around a specific guy by the name of Dallas Willard. There's a couple other resources that I'm using, but something that he says in his book, Life Without Lack, I think is a beautiful way to move in here. He says, the experience of a life without lack depends first and foremost on the presence of God in our lives, because the source of this life is God itself. And so to live a life without lack is to anchor our life in the experience of the divine itself. It's a practice. Spirituality has a lot more to do with discipline than it does with inspiration. If we wait to be inspired, then we watch the world move past us. Any great teacher, any great mystic, any great innovator, anybody that has excelled to the full experience of who they are, has done so by a practice, a discipline. And so I'm going to offer each of us a discipline, a practice daily for this month on this theme. The first part of the practice is this: to read, ideally to memorize the 23rd Psalm. And I think memory is really a good thing. You know, I know as a Freemason, memory work is a really important part of our practice, of our discipline, because what happens is you're waiting in line, you're having to do something, you're feeling anxious, it's 3 a.m, and all of a sudden you have access to a library in your mind that is accessible to you at any time that you want. And so memory work is the best way. And if it takes a while to get there, then every day, every morning, read the 23rd Psalm. And the second thing in the practice is this, because we're conditioning our mind, is to engage the imagination, to let yourself be in that place. Imagine what it would be like to be a loving shepherd, looking out for and caring for your flock. Imagine you're a sheep and what it feels like to be guided, to be led, to be taken care of, to live a life without fear. Imagine what it would be like to have a table set for you and someone who up until now you have thought as an enemy, and you're sharing a meal together, and you're reconciling, and you're healing. And so the second part of the practice is this: engage the imagination, let yourself be there. And then the third part of it is to listen. What do you hear? What guidance are you getting? What are you receiving? And to trust this. If New Thought teaches us anything, it teaches us that we can trust our intuition. And that's what we're doing. We're building a way to tap into our intuition through the use of our imagination. And so, can we follow the lead? Can we let ourselves be led? Can we let go of this fantasy that we have created that we are in control of our lives, and realize that there is a power greater than us that is available to each and every one of us, and that wants our best interest in mind? The Lord is my shepherd, and I lack nothing. He lets me rest in grassy meadows. He leads me to restful waters. He keeps me alive. He guides me in proper paths for the sake of his good name. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no danger because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they protect me. You set a table for me right in front of my enemies. You bathe my head in oil, and my cup is so full it spills over. Yes, goodness and a faithful love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the divine's house as long as I live.